Return to the right of the client and start draining the lower limbs. Follow the same pattern used for the arms, except that the lower limbs begin subjected to gravity and retain more fluid. It will be divided into 5 points on the legs, 5 points on the thigh, and 5 points on the knees. Lift the client's leg and make 4 deep movements from the top of the foot to the knee. Make 4 full pressures on the top of the foot with the thumbs and then the 5th. Join hands together and remonstrate by pressing on point 1. Remove, reapply pressure and discharge backward. Resume movement, repeat until you reach point 2 and then point 3, 4 and then 5, just below the knee. At this point, move to the side and perform deep drainage of the knee. Always insist on localized retentions. Once finished, lower the leg and start the drainage of the thigh, divided into 5 points by joining ends together. The last point is forefinger on the groin. Position yourself leg for the arm. Open ends in section and make 3 presses, one of each point going outward. The outer end picks up and pumping. The inner hand makes the 5th point and closes. With the external hand, climb up the waist and make 5 presses, always on one on each point. The first to the femur, the second from the thigh to the lower waist, and the third from the thigh to the waist height part, the 5th pelvis, and then to step 5 to the waist. Rotate the hand and pull toward the thoracic duct. Move to the other leg and repeat the movements. The client turns around. Repeat the application and the distribution of the LIFO oil. The point of reference is the center of the lumbar. Apply LIFO oil and go down with the end to the massage table. Go up from the outside of the back to the scapular fossa. Open the shoulders and go down along the outside of the arms. Go back inside to the lumbar area. Repeat the gestures on the other side of the body. Return to the lumbar region, descend along the legs, first from one side, then from the other side. Apply the product. Put your hand in shape of a butterfly and start the application in opening. The points go from point 1, lumbar sacrum point, point 2, lower part of the thoracic part, point 3, central part of the rib cage, point 4, scapular part. Point 5, between the shoulder blades. Opening and sliding on the shoulders and make 5 trapezoidal and semicircular relaxation. Go down the arms with the fingers. Go inward and roll up the shoulders. Put the trapeze Go down to the lumbar and turn your hands by repeating the same movement on the other legs. Take a break with 5 pressures under the feet before going up to the waist. Gather hands and unload forward, thoracic ducts. Morpho-Lifo drainage, starting with the back. Put your hands in a triangle, apply pressure, leave the sacrum, and then return to the lumbar. Remove the pressure and put your hand in a butterfly. Apply pressure and go down until your hand touches the muscle table. First with one hand and then with the other. Return to the sacrum, form a triangle with your hands and repeat the same movements, stopping at each point. Point 2 is in the lower thoracic area. The third is in the upper thoracic area. Point 4 under the shoulder blade. And in point 5 place the hand in a butterfly. Slide the thumbs toward the dimples of the neck. Bend and unload the trapezium until you touch the muscles table. Arms. Take the client's hand and begin to work the arm. As on the front side, first light massage, then pressure on the wrist. Join hands together by diving the forearm into 3 points and 2 points on the arm. At the end, finish with 3 pressure. 1 on each point, going outward, the outside hands takes and makes the first pressure. The fifth and the final point is made by the inside of the hand, starting with a low side pressure of the deltoid and then on the end of the shoulder, behind the shoulder and then the last trapezium near the base of the neck. Turn your hand, slide your thumb to the dimple of the neck. Bend and empty as always toward the inner part. Repeat these gestures on the other arm. Legs. Stay on the right side of the client and take the foot. Repeat as for the arm. Four deep pressures of the front of the toes to the ankle. The fifth rotation of the hand and drainage of the heel and the ankle. Fold through presses. And the fifth, join hands together and go up through the 5 points of the leg, as always, and finally move laterally. Pass over the polpette fossa and start with the thigh, always doing hand together. Go through the 5 points. At the moment, the remaining hands begins closing the pressure massage at each point. Point 1. At the trunk hair. Point 2. Lower lateral part of the extended muscle. Point 3. upper lateral part of the extensor muscle. Point 4 the pelvis, point 5 the thighs. Here turn your hands, go through the vertebrae and go down to the table massage. To conclude, work the buttock. The external end is positioned along the outer fold. The other passes and divide into 3 phases, lower, central and upper, and each internally and externally internal. At the end of the massage, the external hand closes and goes up the same points as those worked for the leg. Pass on the other side and repeat. The morpho-lymph drainage is the basic manual technique of method physiodermy.